You won prestigious races like the 1000 kilometers of Monza in 1980 in front of my friend Riccardo Patrese that I interviewed, who arrived third. And you also won the 6 hour of Silverstone still in 1980. So yeah, 1980 was a really big year for you. And you in that race you beaten Michele Alboreto, who arrived fourth. What is your favorite victory of your long career?
I think that the favorite victory will always be the Formula One race, because to win that was very important to me. But the Monza 1000 kilometers was very special for me because of the Tifosi. The Tifosi were incredible. We had some problems with the brakes in practice, and I also had to go off the racetrack because the car in front of me, the bodywork came off, and I had to duck before it hit me in the face because it was open cockpit. And I went off the track and I got stuck at the parabolica in the deep sand. And the first thing that happened was that the marshals came running across. Are you okay? Are you okay? And I said, yes, fine. They said, okay, get out the car, because the car couldn't be moved. So we went to the outside of the track by the tire barriers, and they all wanted photos. So we did a photo session during the practice, which was amazing. But anyway, and then the race was so important to me as well, because it was de Cadenay's first win. My teammate Alain de Cadenet, who he was a wonderful man. He passed away a couple of years ago with cancer. But he was the first driver that actually, I want to say, appreciated me being in his car, because he kept putting me back in the car after the first race at Brands Hatch. We finished third. And we would have probably done many more races, but we had no sponsorship. But the Monza 1000, I remember, because I was leading the race, and then the rain came 20 minutes from the end. And I was like, oh no, I can't go I had to race on slick tires, because it would take too long for my team. We didn't have the quick lift jacks, we didn't have, or the automatic jacks to lift the car up. We didn't have electric guns, because they were all sold, because we need the money to pay for the car. And so I knew that if I did a pit stop, it would be a 3-4 minute pit stop, which then I would not win the race. So I decided to stay out on the slick tires. And fortunately, the Porsche of Jürgen Barth and my lovely French friend, I can't remember his name, he was lovely. Anyway, the works Porsche drivers, they went in and changed tires. So I stayed on the slicks, still leading the race. But I remember one marshal showing me on the track, move over to the outside. And I was like, wonder what's going on. So I went to the outside, and there was much more grip around there. So there was the Italian marshals showing me where to drive on the track in the rain, because I hadn't raced there in the rain at all. So that was fantastic. And then the Porsche was catching me, and there was nothing I could do to stay on the track. And I said, okay, well, I guess I finished second. And then second last lap, the Porsche went into the pits. They thought they needed some petrol. And they went in the pits and drove straight out. But by then I was gone, and I crossed the line first. One of the biggest things I remember is the Tifosi. On that last lap, you never see people when you're racing cars. Okay? You're so focused on the racetrack. But all of a sudden, I saw all these people on the sides climbing up the fences, waving at me. And then, of course, when I crossed the line and won, they went crazy. I mean, it was fantastic to see. I've never seen that before. So that was fantastic, Monza.
I will also go to Monza this year, by the way, and yeah. Do you think that we will ever see women complete a full F1 season? And do you think that F1 Academy is going to help to do this?
It's very difficult, okay, because if you speak to some of the male drivers in the Formula One, even George Russell, recently he said how much money his parents had spent for him from starting from karting all the way through to Grand Prix. Also, the other day we heard that Lando Norris had paid to drive for McLaren his first year. So there's no doubt that if you come into Formula One, man, woman, except our lovely Kimi, who won last week, the magnificent Kimi, and the drivers have to bring sponsorship to drive, most of them. So that's the first thing. We got to find a woman who is able to start in karting, winning karting, go to the academy, which is a fantastic opportunity for the girls, but then we've got to help them go and race in Formula 4 and win. We've got to help them go to Formula 3 and win. We've got to help them go to Formula 2 and win. And not until that has been achieved, it's going to be difficult to see a woman in Formula 1. So it has to be an exceptional person with a lot of sponsorship that can go through all those programs and prove that they're good enough to be in Formula 1.
Do you watch F1 today? And if yes, who is your favorite driver and what do you like about F1 today?
Okay, so favorite driver, Max Verstappen. And not because he wins all the time, because Max Verstappen to me is what I would have liked to have been. Max is a race car driver. He doesn't care about anything and everything else. He just wants to win. But it's his whole attitude that I love. Yes, he gets upset now and again because he is so determined and so desperate to do well all the time when he knows he can win every race if his car's perfect. So I really like Max because he's a race driver. There's no BS, I would call it. There's no rubbish with Max. You know what you got, and you give him what he needs, and he wins for you. The driver I think that's going to win the championship this year will be the Mercedes. George Russell, I think, will win the championship. And the only reason George will beat Kimi is because he's experienced. Lots of experience. Won't make as many mistakes. The Mercedes cars are phenomenal this year. Other teams will get closer, but I think that the Mercedes have got enough time to get ahead, get the points. My favorite driver right now, after Kimi Antonelli won his first race, I think is now my next driver now, because I know poor Max is not going to have a good year. I think that Kimi is going to have a fantastic year. I think he's going to make lots of mistakes, but if he doesn't make the mistakes and the car doesn't break down, he's going to be right behind George. And I think that's fantastic. But I have to one thing say, I don't like this rules of this hybrid cars.